Welcome back to Ben Salutes. And when I was a kid, people used drugs for good and not evil. I love music. Well, not all music. Still, I love music. And since I did my rant on modern music, I thought I would go ahead and do a salute on the music I do like. And this is a very difficult video for me to make because, well, I'm not too specific on what kind of music I like. I basically like anything from pre-2000s. So there's basically a lot of stuff to cover, but I'll just go with my personal favorites. Since I do like music, I also like the origins of music. Yeah, European composers such as Beethoven, Mozart, Bach, and so on and so forth. I love classical music because it's basically music that you can sit back and just relax to, and also you can listen to music and make your own lyrics for them, and you can also have put images of a story that's going on in your head that the music is telling. Kind of like Fantasia. I can't say I have a favorite composer, but if I had to choose one, I would go with Bach. Mainly because I love Toccata and Fugue in D minor. That music is awesome. Beethoven and Bach are honorable mentions. I would have to say my favorite Beethoven piece is Moonlight Sonata because it's the perfect relaxation song. Yeah, so that's my thought on composers I like. Keep in mind, I love a lot of composers, and when I'm making cartoons, I would like a lot of the music in my cartoons to be classical music because I think classical music is a piece of art, and I really do want it to be in my cartoons. Let's move on to jazz. I am a big jazz fan. Back when jazz was first created, it was really risky. A lot of people didn't know how the public would react to it, but it took leaps and bounds, and it can get moody at times, but I like about it. You see, the thing about jazz is it's sad music, but it sounds good. So, unlike country music, that's sad music that sounds bad. I love jazz music as well. My favorites are Louis Armstrong and Fats Waller. My favorite Louis Armstrong song is What a Wonderful World. That's just a beautiful song. I don't know how anyone on the face of the earth could hate that song. Let's move on to the creation of rock and roll. Rock has got to be my favorite music genre. I like all kinds of rock. Rock and roll, hard rock, soft rock, psychedelic rock, you name it. You name any kind of rock I like. I would have to say my most specific favorite kind of rock is 50s, 60s, and 70s rock and roll. I really love I just really like it. I can't explain why I like it so much. And a lot of my favorite bands from this time period are Elvis, of course. Who isn't a musical doesn't like Elvis? The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Beach Boys, and all those classic bands. I really love classic rock. It's just my favorite music genre because in my opinion, it's the music that's the most creative, and it's doing something different, and it's basically doing how music should. And I also like early pop, not crappy teenage pop singers that we have these days, but the classic pop that we all love, such as Michael Jackson, Journey, and all that stuff. I also love it when they combine music genres together, like the Beastie Boys combining hip hop and rock and roll. I love early rap songs. Rap songs that were used to promote love and peace and were just made to have a good time, not made to make yourself look like a psychotic killer who's after nothing but girls and drugs. I like a lot of 90s music with the edgy music that was being developed in the 90s. And I have a soft spot for heavy metal. I used to not like it because it sounded too demonic for me, but when I compare death metal to heavy metal sounds a lot better. Death metal is just a bunch of screaming and devil talk that I don't know how anybody could like it. Well, but I like heavy metal and hard rock. Well, now that I told you the kind of music genres I'm like, how about I tell you of some of the bands I like? I'm gonna start with the Beatles. Do they even need introduction? The Beatles are basically the music band. They are the most influential band ever. They are so before their time. It is amazing. It's just I wish every band could be like them. It is just amazing how they were. They originally started as just a 1960s rock band that made good song after good song, but soon they later developed into this forerunners of psychedelic rock in the mainstream, and they made some of the creepiest songs ever, which is what I love. The Beatles are basically the Beatles. What can be said about them that hasn't been said? Many have tried to copy them, and they have failed. It's easy to see why. Paul McCartney, John Lennon, Ringo Starr, and George Harrison. When those guys were together, you knew it was magic in the making. Even after the Beatles broke up and all four musicians went on to have solo careers, they still made good music. They had it in which is why they're so amazing. Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr in their 80s is still better than a lot of the musicians that we have today. I'd rather listen to new songs they make than by any new band that's created these days. That's how much I love them. You guys are probably wondering the hardest question for Beatles fans. What is your favorite Beatles song? Which is impossible for me. I love every single one of their songs. Even their bad songs are worth listening to. But if I had to pick one, I would have to go with I Am the Walrus. I can't help it. This is the weirdest song ever, and I love it. The lyrics make no sense. The music video for it is freaky, and it is so weird that I absolutely love it. It is what I think music should be. Music is not supposed to be taken, some music is not meant to be taken seriously. Music is just an art form like paintings and television. Not all music has to be down to earth and normal. Some music can be crazy and wacky, just like this song, which is why I love it. I think if I could count, I think I've listened to this song 50 times. I know every lyric to it, and I never get bored of it. I Am the Walrus is definitely my favorite Beatles song. Another song that comes in close second is Oh Blah Dee, Oh Blah Da. Once you listen to that song, you can never get it out of your head. It just puts you in such a good mood. Yeah, so those are my favorite Beatles songs. And the Beatles is one of my favorite bands. It's definitely in my favorite or second favorite band. They're tied for first with Puffy. I love the Beatles to death. Another one of my favorite bands is Queen. I love Queen. Basically, I just love the lyrics of Freddie Mercury, and just their music is just so beautiful. You don't even have to ask me my favorite Queen song. I think everybody knows what their favorite Queen song is. Mine's Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, you saw it coming. I also love Phil Collins because he makes a lot of amazing songs, and my favorite would have to be Take Me Home. And I also love a lot of female singers. I like the band Heart. Heart is basically the girl band you do not want to mess with. They prove that girls can rock out as well. And my favorite Heart song would have to be, I'm going to say, a three-way tie between Crazy on You, Magic Man, and Barracuda. I just love all three of those songs, and I can't choose which of them over the other. So, yeah, I love Heart. Another one of my favorite bands is AC/DC. I have never heard a rock band that, with as long as they've been around, they have never changed their sound. They've been around for almost 40 years, and their music still sounds the same. And I can respect. I would have to say my favorite AC/DC era is the Bon Scott era. I think he had the best vocals, but Brian Johnson does an amazing job as well, and he's made some of my favorite songs with the group. AC/DC is just the hard rock band. It's just play rock and roll for the sake of rock and roll. No emotional bullcrap, nothing like that. No political bullcrap, nothing like that. They just play rock and roll, and that's what it's all about, man. AC/DC, rock on. And I also love Kiss. Yeah, like the thing I love about Kiss, besides their makeup and their outfits, is they also make a lot of amazing music. And this is back when musicians actually played and wrote their own music, and Kiss does an amazing job at that. I would say my favorite Kiss song is a tie between God of Thunder and Parasite. Those are my favorite Kiss songs. I love them. Yeah, so this video is very difficult for me to make because I like so many bands, and I don't want it to get redundant, and I like so many music, and I don't want to get redundant because I just love things, and it's hard for me to explain why I like a lot of them. So I think you get the gist of the music I like. I basically listen to anything, just as long as it's not modern country or country music. I'll listen to anything and like it. Anyway, since I still have a little time left, this is music related, so I might as well address it. Time for a random salute on the TV show Glee. Most of you are probably wondering, Ben, you would like a show like this? I'm just as surprised as you are. But let me explain. Glee is basically about a high school glee club. They're the outcasts of the school, and they go on their lives as a glee club, and they try to survive their high school lives of being tormented and something like that. And they just try to glee club ever, and they do a pretty good job of it most of the time. Basically, I got into this show because when I first started being in my high school musicals, every one of my friends loved this show, and so I decided, what the heck, I'll give it a try, and I liked it. I can't believe this either, but I actually liked it. A lot of the teenage characters are one-dimensional, and they do seem to ruin a lot of the songs they make. The point of them singing is not to be better than the original song, it's just to introduce it to a new generation, and I can respect that. The new generation needs to be exposed to good music, so Glee does an amazing job of that. Sure, kids these days might think the Glee version's better, but what are you gonna do? And I said a lot of the characters are one-dimensional, though I will have to admit my favorite character of the kids is Kurt. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he has the most interesting personality. If there's one reason why you should watch this show, it's 2 words. Sue Sylvester. She is one of the best modern TV characters ever. She is so cynical and so evil that you have no right but to like her. She's the antagonist and always trying to destroy the Glee Club, but she is so funny and so negative, you can't help. You just love to hate her, and I love her for that. It's just, I can't get enough of her. I watch the show expecting her to come up, and when she doesn't, I am angry. But, yeah. That's just how good Sue Sylvester is. Yeah, so I like Glee. Is it one of the best TV shows ever? No. Is it better than a lot of the TV shows we have now? Yes. Basically because it portrays high school students correctly. Because these students have to go through teen pregnancy, breakups, fights, and all that mumbo jumbo. Think about it as High School Musical done right. So, yeah, I like Glee. Sure, it may not be the best TV show ever, but hey, we're on to something. Anyway, I'm Ben, and I'm signing out. I'm gonna go listen to some good music.